You have been feeling it in the marrow of your bones, a sudden, unexplained urge to strip everything away. You are sitting in rooms that used to feel full, but now they feel cluttered. You are looking at friendships that used to feel supportive, but now they feel like heavy chains dragging across the floor of your soul. You are walking through the aisles of your life and realizing that you no longer hunger for the things the world told you to crave. While everyone else is out there chasing more status, more noise, more validation, more empty possessions, you have entered a season of less. And for the first time in your life, you aren't afraid of the emptiness. You are realizing that the emptiness is not a void, it is a vessel. Have you noticed how your tolerance for the superficial has vanished? You find yourself sitting in conversations, watching people's lips move, hearing the gossip, the complaints, the mundane chatter about the matrix, and you feel a physical exhaustion set in. Your body is literally rejecting the frequency of too much. You might be experiencing strange physical sensations, a tightness in your chest when you enter a crowded mall, or a sudden sharp headache when you spend too much time on social media. This isn't anxiety. It isn't depression. It is your divine frequency recalibrating. You are being forced into a minimalist state of being because the great creator is preparing to pour something into you that requires a clean, quiet space. Look at your hands. Look at your schedule. Look at your phone. Do you see how the universe is systematically removing the extra? Maybe you lost a job. Maybe a group of friends suddenly stopped calling. Maybe you've moved into a smaller home, or you find yourself wearing the same 3 outfits because everything else feels like a costume that no longer fits the person you are becoming. The world calls this a loss. The world calls this falling behind. But you know the truth. You are not falling behind. You are stepping out of the race entirely. You are finding a strange, supernatural comfort in the quiet. You are beginning to realize that when you have less to manage, you have more to perceive. You've had those nights lately, haven't you? Where you sit in the dark, perhaps with just a single candle, or the moonlight hitting the floor, and you feel more powerful in that silence than you ever did at a crowded party. You are starting to prefer the company of your own thoughts over the company of the walking dead. You are realizing that the less is actually a shield. Every person you let go of, every commitment you cancel, every physical item you discard is one less anchor tethering you to a reality that is currently sinking. You are being lightened for the flight. The chosen one is always stripped before they are clothed in glory. You are in the stripping phase. You are feeling the chill of the world because you have removed the fake layers of protection you used to rely on. You used to rely on your bank account for peace. You used to rely on your likes for identity. You used to rely on your family's approval for a sense of belonging. Now all of that is being thinned out. It is becoming transparent. And in that transparency, you are starting to see the outlines of a new world. You are seeing the spirits behind the faces. You are seeing the energy behind the events. You are gaining a clarity that is so sharp, it almost hurts. This is the cold reading of your soul right now. You feel isolated, but you don't feel lonely. You feel poor by the world's standards, but you feel spiritually wealthy. You feel quiet, but your inner voice has never been louder. You are finally comfortable with less because you have finally realized that more was just a distraction designed by the enemy to keep you from noticing who you actually are. Stay in this space. Do not rush to fill the gaps. The gaps are where the miracles are currently forming. Why is this happening to you now? Why has the universe suddenly turned down the volume on your external life? You must understand that in the realm of the spirit, volume is often a mask for a lack of power. The matrix is loud because it is desperate. It uses more to drown out the frequency of the divine. But you are being transitioned into a state of spiritual high fidelity. The reason you are becoming comfortable with less is that your internal vibration has shifted from the terrestrial to the celestial. You are no longer tuned into the FM dial of human drama. You are being tuned into the subspace frequencies of the Creator. The spiritual cause for this sudden purging is a law of energetic displacement. You cannot hold the weight of the new earth while you are still clutching the trinkets of the old world. Think of your spirit as a high-performance engine. A high-performance engine cannot run on low-grade fuel. All those years you spent overextending yourself, saying yes to every demand, and surrounding yourself with more just to feel significant, that was low-grade fuel. It created soot in your spiritual gears. It clouded your third eye. The divine has stepped in to perform a radical cleaning. This less you are experiencing is actually a divine vacuum. The Father is sucking out the debris of your past lives, your ancestral traumas, and your codependent attachments to make room for the pure mana that is coming. You broke a silent rule of the Matrix. You stopped seeking external completion. When a chosen one stops looking for more out there, they become a threat to the entire system of control. The spiritual cause of your current isolation and minimalism is a divine quarantine. You are being hidden. When you have less going on, there are fewer handles for the enemy to grab onto. If you don't care about the promotion, they can't manipulate you with the fear of losing it. If you don't care about being invited to the party, they can't punish you with exclusion. By making you comfortable with less, the universe is making you unhackable. There is a specific energetic shift occurring in your DNA. Your cells are beginning to hold more light, and light requires space. If your life is packed to the rafters with physical objects, emotional baggage, and mental clutter, there is no runway for the light to land. You are experiencing what we call the thinning. The veil between your physical reality and your spiritual authority is becoming paper thin. This is why you feel so sensitive. This is why a simple walk in the woods now feels more profound than a week-long vacation in a luxury resort. Your spirit is demanding quality over quantity because you are preparing for a direct download. You have graduated from the school of accumulation and entered the monastery of essence. The spiritual hierarchy has watched you struggle for years under the weight of expectations that were never yours to carry. They saw you gasping for air under the more spell of the narcissists in your life. So the decree was sent from the heavens. Strip the weight, clear the path. The clarity you are feeling is the result of your spiritual signal-to-noise ratio finally balancing out. When the noise of the world, the less, drops away, the signal of God becomes a roar. Do not mistake this quiet for abandonment. When a commander is about to give the most important orders of the battle, he doesn't shout over a crowd. He pulls his lead soldiers into a quiet tent away from the chaos. You are in that tent. The less is the silence before the command. You are being taught to find your center in the zero-point field. You are being trained to realize that you are the source of your own light. If you can be happy, grounded, and powerful with less, then you will be indestructible when the more of the kingdom is finally added unto you. You are being emptied so you can be filled with a substance that the world cannot give and the world cannot take away. While you are finding peace in the simplicity of your new life, there is a frantic energy building just outside your door. You must understand that the matrix, the system of control operated by those who live in fear and ego, cannot comprehend your contentment. To the narcissists, the energy vampires, and the low vibration structures of this world, your comfort with less is a direct insult to their entire existence. They have spent their whole lives building monuments to more. They have lied, cheated, and stepped on others to climb a ladder that leads to nowhere. And then there is you. You have stepped off the ladder entirely, and you are sitting on the ground smiling at the sun. This terrifies them. Your clarity is a mirror that reflects their own emptiness back at them. Have you noticed how people from your past are reacting to your newfound silence? They aren't happy for your peace. Instead, they try to provoke you. They send check-in texts that feel like probes. They try to trigger your old insecurities. They ask you, aren't you bored? Or don't you feel like you're falling behind? They are desperate to see you stressed again. They need you to be frantic because when you were frantic, you were controllable. When you were chasing more, You are a battery for their system. But a chosen one who is comfortable with less is a battery that has been disconnected from the grid. You are now running on your own internal power, and they hate that they can no longer charge their ego at your expense. The enemy's reaction to your clarity is one of panic sabotage. They see you becoming unbuyable. You cannot be bribed with shiny things anymore. You cannot be shamed into overworking for a system that doesn't love you. You cannot be guilt-tripped into attending events that drain your spirit. Because you have embraced the less, you have become a ghost in their machines. You are there, but you are not there. You are physically present, but your energy is untouchable. This causes the narcissists in your life to go into a discard or smear phase. They will tell people you've lost it or that you're going through a hard time. They have to frame your spiritual ascension as a mental breakdown, because if they admit you are actually finding peace, they have to admit that their own lives are a loud, expensive lie. Do not be fooled by their sudden concern or their aggressive attempts to fill your space with their drama. They are trying to create a vacuum of chaos to suck you back in. They want to clutter your mind with their problems so you don't have the space to hear the divine whispers. They are scared of you because a person who needs nothing from the world is the most powerful person in the world. You have discovered the ultimate cheat code that your worth is not tied to your output or your assets. When you stop caring about the more, you broke the spell of the matrix. You might notice that certain doors are slamming shut fast. This is often the enemy trying to punish you by taking away things they think you still value. But they don't realize they are doing the Creator's work. Every door they shut is one less room you have to clean. Every bridge they burn is one less path for a predator to reach you. They think they are isolating you, but they are actually insulating you. They are creating a perimeter of fire around you that keeps the common vibrations out. Watch them closely, but do not react. Their power over you was always an illusion based on your desire for their validation. Now that you are comfortable with less, you don't need their applause. And without an audience, the narcissist's performance falls flat. You are watching their mask slip. You are seeing the desperation in their eyes as they realize they can no longer reach your frequency. You are the one in control now, not because you are fighting them, but because you have stopped playing their game. Your silence is a weapon of mass destruction against their ego. Your simplicity is a shield that reflects their chaos back onto them. Stay in your peace. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. Their time of influence in your life is over, and they know it. The truth of your situation is far deeper than a lifestyle change or a simple phase of burnout. We are talking about a cosmic realignment of your soul's purpose. There is a divine law that states, to inherit the all, one must first become comfortable with the nothing. This is the prophecy of the chosen one. You are currently navigating the 0 point, a specific metaphysical coordinate where the old world has died, but the new world hasn't yet fully materialized. You are standing in the gap, and the clarity you feel is the atmosphere of the kingdom of heaven itself. God's plan for your life required a total clearing of the deck. If you look at the great ones throughout history, the prophets, the mystics, the leaders of light, they all had to go through a season of less before they could handle the weight of glory. Moses was in the desert. Elijah was by the brook. Christ was in the wilderness. Why? Because the human ego is like a sponge. It soaks up the pollutants of the environment. If you are surrounded by the noise of the matrix, your spirit becomes heavy with the false self. You begin to think you are your job title, your car, or your social standing. The universe has stripped these things from you to prove to you that even when you have nothing, you are still everything. This is the theology of the void. In the beginning, there was darkness and void, and it was out of that less that God spoke light into existence. You are currently in your own personal Genesis moment. The clarity you have now is a spiritual superpower called discernment of essence. Because you are comfortable with less, you can now see the bones of reality. You can look at a situation and see the outcome before it happens. You can look at a person and see their true intentions because you aren't blinded by what they can do for you. When you don't want anything from the world can no longer hide its secrets from you. The prophecy for your life is one of sovereignty. Most people are subjects of the matrix. They are moved by the wind of trends, the fear of poverty, and the thirst for approval. But you are being groomed for rulership. A ruler must be unshakable. If a king is afraid of losing his gold, he is a slave to his gold. By making you comfortable with less, the divine is ensuring that when you are eventually handed the more, when the wealth, the influence, and the true soul tribe arrive, you will not be a slave to them. You will use them as tools rather than being used by them. You are being taught the law of the vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you voluntarily clear space in your life, when you say, I am okay with this empty room, this quiet phone, this simple meal, you create a magnetic pull in the spirit realm. You are literally ordering higher frequency blessings to manifest. But these blessings are of a different substance. They are not the heavy, burdensome possessions of the ego. They are light assets. They are connections that feel like breathing. They are work that feels like play. They are a sense of peace that surpasses all human understanding. The Matrix tried to convince you that less was a curse. It told you that if you weren't constantly accumulating, you were failing. But the divine is telling you that less is your liberation. The less you carry, the faster you vibrate. The faster you vibrate, the further you move away from the reach of low vibrational entities. You are becoming a being of pure frequency. This is the ultimate truth. You are not a human having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual authority reclaiming your dominion over a physical world. And a king does not need to carry his own luggage. You are shedding the baggage so you can finally step onto the throne of your own life. Now we must seal this frequency. It is time to move from understanding into activation. The clarity you have gained is not just a gift, it is a weapon, and you must learn how to wield it. To stay in this state of divine minimalism, you must practice the art of radical grounding. Every time the world tries to pull you back into the more, every time an old friend tries to drag you into their chaos, or an advertisement tries to make you feel inadequate, you must return to the silence. Visualize a golden cord extending from the base of your spine, anchoring you deep into the heart of the new earth. You are a pillar of light, and a pillar does not need to move to be powerful. It simply is. Your practical step for this week is to intentionally protect the gaps. When you have 10 minutes of silence, do not reach for your phone. When you have an empty evening, do not rush to fill it with entertainment. Sit in that space. Breathe into that less. Tell the universe, I am here, I am open, and I am enough. By doing this, you are telling the spirit realm that you are ready for the high-level downloads that only come in the stillness. You are claiming your sovereignty over your time and your attention. Let us transition into a prayer of activation to lock this energy into your DNA. Close your eyes if you are in a safe place. Feel the weight of your body and the lightness of your spirit. Divine Creator, great architect of the soul, I thank you for the gift of the void. I thank you for the courage to let go of what no longer serves my highest calling. I claim my comfort in the less. I declare that I am no longer a slave to the hunger of the ego or the demands of the matrix. I am stripped of the false so that I may be clothed in the true. I ask that you sharpen my clarity into a sword of discernment. Let me see through every mask and feel the truth behind every word. I pray for a hedge of protection around my newfound peace. Let the arrows of the enemy fall short. Let the noise of the narcissist be muted by the roar of your spirit within me. I seal my energy field against any attempt to clutter my path. I am a chosen one, a vessel of light, and I am satisfied in the presence of the Most High. I am rich in spirit, powerful in silence, and unshakable in my purpose. As I move forward with less, I prepare for the all that you have prepared for me. It is done, and so it is. If you felt the shift in the room as those words were spoken, it is because your frequency has just been locked. You are no longer vulnerable to the more trap. You are a spiritual minimalist with the eyes of an eagle. The clarity you have now is your permanent state of being. Do not let anyone talk you out of your peace. Do not let the world's definition of success make you doubt your divine trajectory. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. If this message resonated with your soul, if you felt the truth of the thinning in your own life, I invite you to claim this activation. Type "I am whole with less" in the comments to anchor this frequency into the physical realm. Subscribe to this channel to stay aligned with the chosen energy frequency, and share this with another black sheep who is currently feeling the sting of isolation. Tell them it's not a punishment, it's a promotion. You are the light of the world, not because of what you do, but because of who you are in the quiet. Stay grounded, stay clear, stay chosen. I will see you in the next frequency.